From the very beginning, we've known that X7 would be one of the teams to represent us at European Masters. We've known that NLC was theirs for the taking. Jaeger, Haru, Timt, Nata, Kasing. We've known that nobody could stand in their way.
It's exactly what you wanted to see for X7, and X7 are doing it. That's a massive Infernum ultimate. In comes the Binding Eclipse from the Gravitum as well. Shutdowns abound, and Haru helps X7 stampede to a 13th win.
However, there was one team that could stand up to X7's titanic onslaught. We also knew that Bifrost were strong before the season started, but we didn't know their true power.
The go button, it's not been always that clean though when he goes down again. Jiggers in the backside, so is Tech! All aboard the Vex Express! Try and heal, but I think Bifrost have done it. They'll just brute force the way forward. Fury gets Nata, they've done it! To X7 tears! They've got 3, and this might be it!
And now, we get to watch it all again.
Nata and Tempt against the world, but it's Bifrost that will come bringing down the hammer of the North God.
Welcome to Champion Select. There we go, Bifrost versus X7. That is a good video. That is a hypey video. You guys are really tall, by the way. Okay, let's move on to the Champion Select. What can we expect? There we go, Kai'Sa, and now focus purely on the bot side.
See, the thing which I see from Bifrost immediately here is the Kai'Sa and the Jace. Those are hyper outrange champions. A lot of the time when you're playing towards them, you do want to be picking more of your long-range AD carries, which can get poked out. So you're removing those options on the table with that. With the Zeri and the Aphelios already taken off, that's kind of only leaving you with the Jinx outside of those.
An absolutely huge amount of AD carry bans as well. Jinx, Aphelios, Zeri, Kai'Sa, all taken off the table here.
So that's your last outrange AD carry.
Yeah, following the trade, and then Xayah coming in now as maybe the highest priority AD carry left on patch.
So now the question is, what do you have into that? Actually, Misfortune has been an answer to Xayah. This is a very different set of priorities already than compared to our last best of 5. So while we were talking about, oh, you know, the center might be important, the Gnar might be important, again, scrim bubbles have been happening. We've got ourselves a bit of a scrim meta already, and this series is good. It's going to give us a different look right off the gates.
And this Ezreal pick actually makes a lot of sense from X7. When you lock Xayah first, you're actually really vulnerable to being outranged yourself, right?
Yeah, so Ezreal was actually one of the old school counters.
Exactly, right? Even though you got rid of the Jace, you got rid of the Kai'Sa, you actually made it so Xayah is still vulnerable to being outranged, right? And what you're going to see here from X7 almost certainly is going to be a composition that outranges. Ezreal Karma, I'm predicting, should come in later here, and a composition that does very well versus the dive that Bifrost is going to need to bring in order to penetrate sort of the range advantage that the X7 are planning on bringing.
The difficulty here for X7 is even though they might have, so even though they have the Ezreal, which is okay into the Xayah, especially early game when you can poke them out of lane, once you get to about item and a half, 2 items, Xayah is just going to be an immovable rock in one lane because they have infinite wave clear with the lethality coming in. It's just so hard to stop them from doing that. I mean, we saw X7 use that against Bifrost in Game 5, where they had the Xayah versus the Caitlyn. Caitlyn bullies early, there's a point when the matchup turns around, and you can't really do anything about that. Have they prepared for the other side of that matchup?
So it's not going to be the Karma, it's going to be the Rakan to follow with the Ezreal. I was expecting the Karma to play from front to back. When you have a high engage on the other side, you think Rakan actually fits in this?
Well, there's a benefit of Rakan in this composition, as Viego doesn't have a huge amount of strength in face checking, a strength in getting into the enemy jungle and moving themselves forward. So in taking the Rakan here, you actually have a bit more tankiness, a bit more mobility, where you can walk to the enemy jungle. If someone's there, back out, and it actually helps a bit with the vision game. So maybe that's the thought process there.
And what I really like for these second round bans, because kind of following on from the Karma, right, because Rakan is very good at fighting very early levels, that W a very important engage tool. When you have the Volibear on the other side, if you're into something which is heavy engaged like the Nautilus yourself, even though the Rakan is good fighting early and you want to fight early, you don't want to be fighting into a losing 3v3. So banning away stuff like that Nautilus can be very important. You probably need to get rid of something like the Leona maybe as well. That can be an important pick. But the question is, are they still going to be indexing into winning 3v3 bot side early on? Well, there's Leona gone. What else have you got?
And something that's flown under the radar here is also the fact that Bifrost have got away with this Gnar. We said pivotal pick in the series.
True.
And multiple bans for it. Jace a good ban, Tryndamere a good ban, Akali a good ban. So this Nash should also be set up for success, and X7 should actually struggle to find a viable counterpick within the entire draft.
Yeah. Their individual lane quest answers, is it going to fit everything? Now, Camille or Aurelia are potentially okay because you're still trying to play a little bit of dive with the Rakan going in. Viego can struggle with that, but if you're not the one that's going in first, you've got a bit more flexibility.
And Aurelia really struggles against Volibear, really struggles against Xayah, right? So even though Aurelia is a lane counter, can it win the game, right? These are two very separate questions. Viego is going to have to run away with this game inside lane.
But also, it's a way to protect the Aurelia. You still don't know if it's going to the top, you still don't know if it's going to the mid. That's a way to at least put the question mark on this one. And that's actually a Yuumi. The lockdown potential on the team fight is amazing.
And now this gets even worse for those diving carries of X7, because if you're going with Aurelia or Viego or Rakan, if you're doing that into a Yuumi, it is so difficult to find your mark and get that first kill. Now X7 has to be very precise about how they want to go about that dive, and that would be very fun.
It's not happening.
Don't you be playing shenanigans here, Duel.
Makes sense, makes sense. And Fury back again on the Ahri. I know you love this pick, but he also loves that pick. He's really good with the Ahri. So what can Tim bring? Can he play the Irelia against the Ahri, or you need something else? Because Vex is still available.
I mean, there are plenty of things which can kind of outrange. I mean, something like a Veigar is okay at zone controlling. Not entirely sure how it fits into the rest of your comp. This again feels like a lot of lane counters for X7. The coherency of the comp overall, with the LeBlanc being locked in actually instead of that Veigar, it definitely helps. You have a lot of mobility that you're looking towards, but still, you're going to have to do a lot of poke damage with the LeBlanc to really make sure that you're very happy for your other divers to hard commit, because not everyone can get out in the same way the LeBlanc can.
So I do prefer the LeBlanc here over the Veigar. I think it does actually give them sort of the poke they need, that ability to play in and out against the Bifrost composition. If they're all committing at once, they will get in trouble. So I think it helps in that regard, but it's a lot of lane counters here for X7. They need to try and run away with it early. If they fall behind, they get behind on the Drake game, they get behind on the team fighting game, it's very hard to come back.
But what helps with that, X7 are very good in lane. Yeah. So if there's a team that can do this, X7 probably the one to do it.
Okay, to wrap it up, I need numbers. Who do you think is going to take this first one?
I think this is a Bifrost confident draft. I think Bifrost take game 1.
Okay, what about you?
70-30 Bifrost on draft.
Okay, there we go. 2 for Bifrost to start up this one. And we're about to jump into Summoner's Rift. And before that, for the last time during this split for Grand Finals, let's welcome the Light Show.
Lightning, camera, action. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else in between, welcome to the NLC Finals cast. I am Initialize. I'm joined by Trouble and Goldborg. We are all here and exceptionally excited to be bringing you this game. How are we all doing?
I think we're doing good now.
Yeah, we're doing quite fine here. We're ready for a final like this.
I was that close to roasting Toro because he was like, Ace just won by draft. And I'm like, well, your drafts didn't win the game.
That close that she does it anyway. She thought about not doing it and then did it. But what would you
I did it anyway.
All right, let's bring it in a little bit to the drafts as we have them, because we're having a bit of a discussion here on the desk. And mid-jungle going to be pretty important for both sides, but a bit of a difference in style for both these teams and how they want to play.
Most definitely. I think from the side of X7, the mid-jungle between a Viego and a LeBlanc, it's a very skirmish-heavy one in the early game. And we know champions like LeBlanc, they benefit so hard from a snowballing potential. And I think specifically in the early game where you're going up against the Volibear.
I mean, I love how you bring up going up against the Volibear.
Sure.
I do not think Volibear loses to any matchup early on. So I think when you do have the Ahri and you do have the Volibear, I think the first one to strike gets a kill on the 2 versus 2. I think the most stylistic difference between the two compositions is the fact that Bifrost really want to be able to team fight. They've got backline access, while they also have a human Xayah who can stay relatively safe and keep the team healthy. Whilst on the other side for X7, yes, you can team fight. Your core 3-man that will stay behind Viego, Rakan, and Ezreal will stay very safe. But you have Aurelia and LeBlanc that can very easily go into side lanes.
Completely agree, and I'm looking forward to see how Duel plays out some of these games, because of course he's got himself some great Yuumi deployment platforms in the Ahri and the Volibear. If you want to find an easy way to get your engages down, pretty strong options there for Bifrost, but I think we're all in agreement here. We're all aligned saying, look, Tempt, Jaeger got really good options to play the 1-3-1s with the LeBlanc, with Irelia in the side lanes. And of course, Shikari did blind pick the Gnar. He did pick that in, and Jaeger gets the easy option with Irelia.
Yeah, but that was kind of how it was as well in the semi-finals upper bracket when we watched that. I mean, throughout the ban phase, it was Odie who was receiving 380 bans today. Today was no difference from that as well. And Shikari is kind of put in a position where we don't usually see him. We started to see him a little bit in the regular season of it, but it was completely weak side with champions like Dion, with champions like the Sion, where he had less agency to really outshine his opponent.
All right, well, here we are then. We've got to see how that plays out, because of course OD, as you said, did get banned out, but still gets to pick up the Xayah, which I feel has been rising in priority, particularly kind of the lethality options right now, yeah?
I think I also want to echo what Torok said, that it is the last best case scenario ADC that they could have picked up, especially when you're going into backdive axes like the Irelia and having the LeBlanc and the Rakan together with them. You relatively stay pretty safe. And also this is sort of like a domino effect in the meta as well, right? At the start we had Jinx Aphelios and they were pretty immobile, but they were putting out so much damage. And then teams realized, wait a minute, Hecarim, Volibear, things that can reach the backline can actually disrupt the damage that these immobile carries are putting out. And this is where Xayah and Caitlyn start coming in because they stay relatively safe from distance.
And Ezreal in that kind of vein as well for Nata, and we'll see how that plays out as the game goes on.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Desk was talking about what is 70% over to the side of Bifrost, but I think that's also in the grand scheme of things when you start grouping up around objectives, because when you take a look at how laning phase is going, Yuumi into Rakan, not the easiest way to start getting that priority down towards that bot side. That's going to enable Kasing a lot to roam around the map, especially because he's got that Ezreal. And up towards the top side, you're playing Irelia into Gnar. Gnar does not dictate the waves either. No. So I will say X7, they get a lot of breathing room to play around with on the first clear.
And as you can see, the top side is being pinged as well. LeBlanc has priority mid, Irelia has priority top. So I'm thinking right here for C-Boy, it might be wise to sort of roam towards the bot side of the map where he actually has his bot lane available, but he might just want to take the 1v1.
Might do. No idea who got that one. Does look like Haru with the smite was able to get it. Now Tempt's going to be over as the first rotation. C-Boy in danger, but doing a lot of damage beforehand. Flash out from Haru, but a root comes down and Tempt, of all people, gets first blood.
And Trouble just called it. You have pushing top lane, you have pushing mid, and then you go for the scuttle. It's legit the classic from Solo Q. Where's my laners? Well, I tell you what, they're on the tower, while the rest of X7, they're able to collapse. C-Boy, he went for an early engage. Didn't pay off.
Fury's going to take a lot of damage to try to clean out the wave. That's actually, I've got to keep going on. Here's a flash available. We could keep hunting there for more. It's just a solo kill and the flash comes out of Fury anyway. That is a disaster.
Okay, so if there's two members on the side of X7 that you do not want to be giving kills to, that is 100% Haru and Tempt. Tempt gets the solo bolo onto Fury, who has, by the way, been struggling during the regular season. But the most important thing is, I want to remind everyone what Haru did JDXL when he took 1 kill on the Hecarim, and on the Viego, he's a different beast. I agree with what Goldbox said. I think at this point you need to start avoiding the fact that Haru is around and try to play towards the other side of the map.
He's got Sork Boots, Dark Seal in inventory already. It's not even 5 minutes. That is not a good sign right now.
Potential dive on the top side. While
if you think about it, go forwards, teleport's coming down. It's a fantastic flawless duet. And now the passive stacked up. Shikari will have the Mega Gnar available. Has to flash out from the chains. C-Boy and Shikari down their summoners.
Okay, that is absolute disaster, honestly. Shikari blows his flash right there. Yes, you take the teleport out of LeBlanc, but LeBlanc is not going to care too much. He has double buffs, he's roaming down mid. And also, if you look at Haru, he's waiting on the side to try and gank up onto Fury. Fury has no flash.
Watch for the ethereal chains. The charm does land though. That makes Haru's life a bit difficult. Fury's taking so low so quickly though. He's dead and the body is stolen. And that means the W movement speed can start coming through. Foxfires abound. Haru gets it 3-0-1.
Disaster early game from Bifrost in the first game of the series. In X7, we talked about it. They had tools in the early game to take over the map. But to this extent, this is also Bifrost handshaking some of the engages, which is allowing X7 to get a lead. And not only that, they're taking care of the Drakes now. Kasing earlier with the priority took presence of the bot side jungle as well. So C-Boy, he's going to continuously get tracked on his next clear, which is going to give even more for the rest of X7 to play around with. Haru
Ooh, gets away with it. Now he's got to find his way out though, because OD can start jumping forward. A flash, an ignite, and a dead jungler. Something back for Bifrost finally.
Honestly, at this point, you need it. And if it goes to anyone from the side of Bifrost, Audi has been that rock on the bot side of the map. Arguably, probably the best bot lane that we have in the NLC is Audi and Duel, so you definitely want these kills early on your Xayah. But looking at the other side of the map, it's really struggling. You definitely don't want to be giving kills towards Haru and Tempt, and they're actually actually ganging up onto Fury, who, again, I'm going to reiterate, he hasn't had the best early games in the league this season.
Yeah, Fury needs to stabilize for sure. He's playing a mobile champion like the Aryan, specifically because you have this Xayah that you are playing for, all-pro, if you want to say MVP, AD carry bot lane, and MVP support with Jewel to play for as well on Bifrost. That is, of course, a Xayah that's great peel into the Aurelia. It's great peel into self-ultimate, into the LeBlanc as well. So you do have tools for a carry potentially to play for in the objectives, but you need to get to that point more stable.
Okay, I want to look a little bit at the level that Haru is on right now, because I'm pretty sure he's going to be hitting level 6 very soon, and he's pinging the red buff. You see how Rakan is already shadowing, and you do have Tempt, who has absolutely massive pressure in the mid lane. You can take this LeBlanc Viego, you reiterated at the start of the game, Gulbook. You can take this duo everywhere in the jungle, and right now they're making C-Boy's life a mess. C-Boy is 7 CS behind, but that's not even the worst part of it. The entire jungle from the side of Haru is still up if he wants to take it.
Oh, Fury's just dead, isn't he? The chains are going to come down. Flash for the grand entrance is not quite enough, but the Ignite will claim it. Kasing is there to assist.
And X7 teamwork, it's just on point on the top line. They're continuing.
Still going in. He landed the Vanguard's edge, but this is a 1v2. Are you sure? Yeah, game might have it. He's not got enough mana, though. Where is the rest of the team for X7? They just don't need it. He goes in for the 1v2 and walks his way out as Odie is in trouble on the bot side. He's got himself a bit of a heal. Haru can't quite secure it with the Heartbreaker, but a Blade of the Ruined King will do enough work. Now Duel is left alone for a true shot barrage. 7-1 in kills early on. This was supposed to be a close series. This ain't a close game.
It definitely is not. X7, they're taking over the entirety of the map, and Bifrost, even in the 1v2 scenario, doesn't get the kill. Let's have a look at it once again, because it's just Haru coming in. And Odie, no cleanse, remember, opted in for an exhaust. You missed the one with the heal, and despite all those defensive summoner spells, it's just not enough. Nata, he's stacking up. True shot barrage. That's a dead cat.
I just think that Haru plays so well with his second timers. He knows he's level 6. He knows that Odie's just about to hit it, and he just ganks bot lane pre-level 6. Means Xayah doesn't have an ultimate, means a dead Xayah. You burn every single summoner on the side of Bifrost for the bot lane as well. I think Haru is legitimately taking over the entire game, and honestly, I'm not really surprised.
Yeah, but look at this now. They're making plays as well with Kasing. They know the blue buff is up. They know they have something to play for on the top side. Bifrost, however, on the other side of the map, have
the only one who hasn't died yet.
To cross map now, see if they can get Nata on this Ezreal if they sniff out the play. So there's two sides of the map that we need to pay attention to now.
Post the walls down, or spot out C-Boy, but does he have a way out? Arcane shift over the wall of a blast cone as well, and of course the speed shrine's available. He's just playing around this blast cone at this point. Doesn't even take it. Well played, Nata. Smart ward, and even 10 seconds later, that probably would have been too late. Kasing is back, so it'll be a plate or two lost here as an option, but it'll be fine from there.
Right, so they still want that dive down the bot lane, but Nata does have flash and cleanse available. They do have the Yuumi ultimate here, but
A lot of damage coming down, and Kasing will die for that. Got a little bit too overeager with the positioning, couldn't battle dance his way to safety. C-Boy picks up a kill, and that helps get even more plates onto this bot side. Good stabilizing options here.
Yeah, I don't know about stabilizing, because Haru's level 7. He took the Rift Herald, he took the Dragon.
Yes.
He is about, what, 20-something CS ahead. He's taking his entire jungle. He's going to take C-Boy's jungle. They're going to dive Shikari as well. He's been in our.
Mid lane's nearly dead as well. They're going to Shikari taken down to no HP. He's dead. Jaeger gets that one, his first kill of the day. And on the all the while in the mid lane, Fury was inches away from dying, but Tempt clone tanked up the last tower shot. And will stop him from going down. There is C-Boy now in trouble.
Shikari missed the jump on that top side on the minions, didn't get to create that space. Mininar had just got activated as well, so he got what's quote-unquote called tired. Couldn't get into that mecha bar. And just like that, incredibly vulnerable to a gank. So we have a look at it once again. It's just so cookie-cutter clean, because, you know, be it Bifrost, they spot C-Boy down there instead. Haru, Jaeger, they know they can go for it immediately, and there's the jump. Oh, just straight onto the Vanguard's edge there.
I'm just going to be honest. I don't think this jump would have saved you, Gulbook.
You know, I gotta give it my optimism.
I'll allow you to have your hopes, guys, because I feel like Haru is on fire right now. He's 2 levels up on C-Boy. C-Boy just hit level 7, and I think they're exploiting the fact that X7 used their vision early on into the game. They used that Viego to perfection to shut down C-Boy. This is exactly what we were looking for in the previous series that Bifrost played, and when C-Boy gets shut down, it feels like Bifrost sort of runs on no cylinders.
you're completely right, and it's because X7 has completely created their own tempo on the map. Every time, I mean, they play with 3 winning lanes, which should allow you to do this, but so often do we see teams not do it. They invade on red buff. Then as soon as blue buff is the one that's up, well, they move their plays up towards the top side of the map. They have an Ezreal to play for as well. They're there for the Drake timer every time. They got the Rift Herald so far as well, and now onto Fury. They're looking for a dive.
The real change to go wide, but the electrocute proc takes Fury down to about 2/3 HP, but he will heal back up with some corrupting charges. They'll back away for now.
Harry's so good with timers. Look at the seconds remaining on Fury's ultimate. He knows he's playing within seconds of something happening. He is just so good at reading the map, at reading situations. This guy's in another level.
He really is, and we've been praising him whole split long. Even in the last series, when some of the games didn't go so well for X7, you saw what his Viego could get done, and maybe, just maybe, we'll see Bifrost go for another one of these bot lane plays. Nata trying to clear out the way, but C-Boy's around, and I don't know whether he's got many options. There's no flash. There's not a lot of hope. There's a teleport coming through the cleanse. The arcade shifts. Oh, good quickness! The turnaround's not quite enough, but now C-Boy gets caught into the Vanguard's edge, but will use the ultimate to try and escape best he can. Jaeger cleans up the cat. He cleans up another. Mid lane, this play is going down as well, and X7 find them all. It's Shikari alone alive.
It is absolute disaster all over the map of Bifrost. They're losing everything. They're losing mid lane tower. They're losing bot lane as well. Like, it is... I cannot. I mean, I can understand why you're trying to play towards your strong side, which is your bot lane at the moment, but I feel like Bifrost, you don't have the right to call anything strong side anymore.
Look at that score at the top of your screen. It is 15 kills at the minute. We're not even at that many minutes in the game, and this dive goes horribly wrong, Goldberg.
Yeah, there's nothing they can do about it. All Shikari's doing on the top side is just auto-attacking Jaeger. He's TPing in the middle of the lane, and he's just going to go on the cat, get the reset on the Q immediately, and the entire map is just burning.
I just want to point out here, because I saw it on the minimap, Tempt TP'd in Fury's face, but Haru was keeping Fury busy, so he got caught.
Odie got caught, he's done.
God. And that was the champion right there. You wanted to stabilize into Aurelia to make sure stuff like this didn't happen because she had the self-peel of an ultimate. But all of a sudden, Odie, he's out in the middle of bot lane. Jaeger's just running him down, no ultimate.
And this was the team we had expected to see in the finals. This was the team that was supposed to have taken time coming into playoffs to prove that they could crush not only the NLC, but look at EU Masters and go, the rest of you need to be afraid. Yes, it's only one game. Yes, we're only 13 minutes in, but this is the kind of
you're allowed to say it.
Absolutely, but this is the kind of devastation that we knew X7 had in them, even if it wasn't always the case. Thus far, thus damn good.
And I'll raise you the question. Was Shikari the wrong MVP for that top lane vote? Because every time we've seen Jaeger versus Shikari, it's actually been Jaeger having the upper end of that matchup. Jaeger, though, his weakness has been getting caught on side lane, but so far we just haven't seen that. And all of X7, I mean, they're just playing to almost perfection.
Okay, I will say Shikari is probably the most stable top laner we probably have in the NLC, because whilst his entire map is falling to pieces, he's only died once because he's respected the fact that he's weak side. He smelled a lot of the ganks coming his way, and he's managed to sort of stay relevant CS-wise as much as he can. So when it comes to tendencies and him being consistent, I think Shikari is one of the most consistent members, at least for Bifrost.
We're not even 15 minutes into the game, and it's near enough an 8,000 gold lead to X7. Goldborg, you've got something for me.
Yeah, definitely, because, you know, once again, they're just playing...
Okay, well, you can chat through this, because I don't think there's too much... Wait, what? Okay, Tempt. I was thinking that was a dead Xayah. She's not. She gets the kill. Now Haru's in danger as well. He's got a Heartbreaker, gets over the wall. Kasing will get a quickness to try and escape with the rest of the members, but that is an overstep, and that's a shutdown going towards Odie, which they will take gratefully.
They continued the chase just a little bit, but in the end, they will be backing off. I was just about to say, you know, blue buff and Bifrost was about to respawn. You can see X7. They wanted to go for it, but then they saw one member in the mid lane, and they overcommitted Odie back into the game. Remember, the first time these teams played against each other, the way Bifrost was winning was never through the early game. It was always through the team fighting later on into the game.
But the thing is, have they had to team fight from this much of a deficit before? Yes, they were down sometimes 3,000 to 4,000, 8,000 plus at this point in the game is quite a lot. Top lane tower is being sieged though.
I don't think this was a bad play because Tempt overextends and the money ends up going to Odie. And if you look on the other side, very nice flash from Shikari right there. Bot lane tower didn't end up going down for Bifrost, and also they're trying to take top lane for the bounties, but I think Fury got caught.
Shikari's actually going to take a lot of damage here. Odie will be around, will get a root. This is the exhaust as well, trying to buy enough space, and Jaeger can't get in range for the blade edge, but C-Boy rooted the top side by the ethereal chain. remains. Temp looking to step forward, but it will be a Spectral Maw that cleans up the Volley Bear, and all the while, Jaeger extricates himself from the bot side jungle in a 1v2 again.
Somehow gets out of that situation. In X7, they're striking on the top side. Here's that blue buff I mentioned just a little bit ago. In the end, it still goes over to X7. In the end, X7 will still pick up the Rift Herald. Cross map can potentially be the Soul Point Drake. You can see Odie and Joel, they are making their way down towards that ocean.
10,000 goal difference. 16
It's so
minutes
nuts.
into the game. It's insane. I know that the items do not tell that story because I feel like X7 have been staying on the map for way too long, just because they can. If you always have the numbers advantage, you stay on the map. And right here, they feel like they can contest this.
No, that's not fair. Nata, you cannot do that. I am so angry for Bifrost right now because this is not looking so much like a Bifrost as a global warming. They're all melting apart.
That was supposed to be the cross map, but X7, they're able to get the Rift Herald. They're able to steal the Drake, and all of a sudden, again, they're still getting away with everything. It's not a perfect game, but by objective calculation, everything has gone over to the side of Bifrost. No tower has fallen, no Drakes, and no Rift Herald has been given to Bifrost.
All right, viewer discretion advised. Production, can we see the individual gold, please? Oh, Lord.
4,000 almost in the top lane.
In the jungle, in the mid. Only the bot is even.
Guys, let's focus on the positive. At least the AD
give it to
carry
us.
is ahead by 100 gold. I feel like that is something to look out for. You know,
Wait,
maybe
is Odin
they'll keep it-
Danish by any chance?
No, he's not.
Okay, I'm about to say, I was wondering where this is going to go.
Dane is the guy that's 4K down to the Korean.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
No,
well,
That's
about that
unlucky.
one.
That's unlucky.
And even Nata is actually down in gold, so all the Danes are actually behind them this time.
I'm all for silver linings, but that's more like you've said it's look, it's a silver lining that's actually made of like iron and it's all rusting and it's awful.
I don't blame Bifrost for trying to go
No,
for this place,
absolutely.
overextending top lane. The bounties are up. Like, the only thing you're looking for right now is to try and get shut down. 650 gold onto Aurelia. You have 200 gold onto the Viego as well. And by the time they were trying to make the place, they all had a mythic item and a couple of components for the sort of X7, and Bifrost had a complete mythic item. So this is the chance and your time to try and fight before the second item completion comes through for X7. They tried to get the bounties. It didn't work. They
Yeah.
sit on a ward as well. X7 is a cosplaying fanatic.
Unfortunately for Bifrost, they certainly are. Now, I think at this point, some of the things that were brought up on desk about the draft still hold true. If you can get to 2 items yourself, even 3 items, and maybe pick someone off a little like that, but a bit more successfully, you still have got a Yumi comp with a lot of good team fighting to work through, but I just don't know whether they can hold on long enough. Look at the map.
You're so far away from that, though, because in the 1-3-1 composition, you are just bleeding. No one can deal with the
You're only
LeBlanc. No one
11K
can
far
be with
away.
Jaeger. That's the thing, right?
No one can deal with Aurelia. It's
We're
just-
not talking in the next 5 minutes, those 2 items are going to save you, because when you finally hit those 2 items, well, chances are X7, they're going to be hitting their 3rd. So even when you're at your best, I mean, X7's the dude you don't have to worry about.
You've got 230 till an Ocean Drake. That will be Ocean Soul, and what on earth do they do?
And also there's like, there's the side effect where you need Anta heal so badly on the side of Bifrost, but right now you just cannot afford to waste your money for Anta heal. But if you don't, who kills Aurelia? Who kills Viego? Who kills anyone who gets healed by the Rakan? It's just such a difficult situation. It's like when you need the QSS, but you know you cannot afford to not buy another damage item just in case you get a shutdown and might come back into the game.
Sing has popped the quickness. There's a grand entrance, and it will be a swift exit for Fury. The Fox is got no way out. 15 kills to 4, 19 minutes into the game. Ocean Soul will be available in just under 2 minutes. Go for it, Gulborg. What have you got for me?
Yeah, but at least you're getting a bot side turret here. Objective bounties will come in just a little bit. Drake will spawn in 1 minute and 40 seconds. And this sounds like real hard copium, but if you can at least regain some bot side control, at least you can allow yourself to have some vision towards the bot side, walk into the river, try to put some extra percentages into that potential fight we will have around the Drake.
Take that one.
You know what,
take that
Gulborg?
2%.
I really appreciate you.
You know I have to.
You know, with 11k, I really appreciate your effort, man.
I'm the devil's advocate.
Okay, he's the angel on the shoulder.
For me, I'm
Trouble
like,
is my
okay,
devil.
this is where you sit back on your chair and you're like, okay, boys, what's the draft for the next one? What side we taking? Because it's fine, we lost this one really bad. We know what the mistakes are.
I watched like this until I watched LCK, and I watched a Gen G game.
I saw that
Excuse me,
game.
did you watch the
That was a
Misfits
little
game?
bit of a jungle difference as
you
well.
watched the Misfits game?
I did.
In the LEC?
I did.
Then,
Okay.
What was that, 14k behind?
What this brings down to me, though, is that there have been moments, rare though they are, of people coming back. It's just incredibly difficult. And unfortunately for Bifrost, their last gasp is likely coming up in about 40 seconds. Check the top left corner of your screen. That Ocean Drake spawns remarkably soon. The Baron is alive, and when you've got an Aurelia, 2 items, it will get shredded through pretty quickly. So things are difficult. They're about to end up being dire.
Yeah, but it looks like Bifrost, they may actually want to just give up that contest, see if they can get just 1 kill, a shutdown. You know, that's what they're chasing for right now. 700 shutdown on Jaeger if they can
oh
get
my
this.
god, Fury's taken so low. Defiant Dance there is the flawless duet. They're teleporting in, but he's landed the Vanguard's edge. Seaboy's gone. He gets 2. That's a 1v3. Shikari's now in trouble. In comes Yumi to try and root him in place, but Kissing is here. The quickness is there, and Shikari surely goes down. Nata's turned up as well. Finally, 1,000 gold. Shutdown comes out. Nata, been flashed on, goes down. Odie gets that one, and Bifrost turn it around to make it at least an even kill trade.
Okay, right here though, you trade, you give 2 kills to your Aurelia, your Ezreal dies, but what do you get? You get mid lane inhibitor tower from Tempt, and you get Ocean Soul. Remember that healing that I said was coming from the items from Aurelia, and had passive of course, and Viego and Rakan? Well, times that 10 right now, because they do have Ocean Soul. The anti-healing items are gonna have to be running in, and you're gonna be lacking significantly in damage and items.
Shikari might just be dead here, but I will say for Bifrost, that was possibly the best outcome they could have gotten. They would have probably lost that Drake fight anyway. At least now they got the 700 shutdown. At least now they picked up some resources. Another turret as well. Shikari, what will you do about this situation?
He's on a trip.
We are here to celebrate the life and death
of
one top laner from Bifrost. Alas, for Shikari, we knew thee well. Only his 2nd death of the game, but X7 have had free reign over this map. It feels like from that early scuttle grab scuffle, and ever since then they have refused to let go of control.
I would love to go back to when we started talking about the mid-jungle duos, but I'll stop right here because I think Bifrost is just running for the hills.
They're trying to come in and contest this Baron. They've lost so much control of the vision. LeBlanc's got them so far ahead that you don't need a team fight, but you can just pop someone. They'll try and come in and contest, though. Fury has popped the Spirit Rush. Seaboy has got the ultimate. Maybe, just maybe, there's a steal available.
Here it comes.
Right, he's going to get in. He's going to make it a bit difficult, but he flashes a charm, but not for long enough, and Jaeger just deletes him. Blade surges his way forward, and Chains will force a flash, even though the charm from Ari lands, and now the Baron's in. I think it's just a death march.
Yeah, but they're just playing it so well on X7. You can see how patient they are. They don't want to burn down the Baron immediately. They're actually just waiting for Seaboy when he, out of desperation, finally flashes in. It's only a 2k, and look at it here. They're not hitting it. They're just waiting. Seaboy flashes in. As soon as Seaboy deads, great. That's when we start picking up the Baron, and now the leftover remains of Bifrost can be picked up.
I mean, with Volibear, you have to be that close to the pit, right? To try and get in and contest and try to steal the Baron. So you're either gonna die to their damage, or you're gonna have to dive in and try to do the damage yourself onto Baron to try and smite steal that. And yes, that was a Hail Mary, but there's nothing else that you can do if you're Bifrost right now. I think at the end of the day, this game is as good as done. And the only good thing that I can think about for Bifrost is that it was just a messy game to begin with. It wasn't a very close game where they're like, ah, damn it, we just lost it in the details. They can go back, see what's wrong, and go again.
See if they can pick up any shutdowns here. They have not been spotted out yet by
There's no shadow on LeBlanc.
Well, they're spotted on the ward now, looking for 10.
Know where it is. Will have the ultimate available. Teleport start coming through. Stunned in place. Tempt taken so low. Does not have a stopwatch. Shut down. Goes the way of Seaboy, but in comes the Vanguard's edge of the big Meganar. Into the wall, though. Jaeger trying to run rampant at the back end of it. And Data and Kasing are here to jump through those that remain. You get the LeBlanc, but the Deceiver always has the last laugh. The thorns are pruned, but the Black Rune blooms regardless.
And with 4 Baroned up members from the side of X7, I am expecting this to be called a GG. Well played right here.
It's done. There's no way out. And X7, we thought it was supposed to be a close series. They come into this first game of the best of 5 and stamp their authority down. Bifrost, the move is on yours, because otherwise this series is looking all but done.
And unfortunately, Odie, he's just not able to step up to the cause. 1 versus 4, it's not enough. Seaboy has spawned. 1 second on Shikari, 2 seconds on Fury. Let's have a look at this.
It's going to be a last gasp, but they're going to try. The Nexus exposed, but X7 ain't playing around today. They are here to make a statement, and game 1 will certainly be that. 25 minutes in, 15,000 gold. What a game that one was.
And again, we mentioned it from draft. The mid-jungle duo for both of these teams. The Volibear Ari, the LeBlanc Viego. We said whoever strikes first wins the 2 versus 2. And unfortunately for Bifrost, Howard strike first, but not only once.
No, but also just feels like this team needs something to play for in the early game, just because you had nothing to do with the volley either. There was no really winning lane to go in for here. LeBlanc, way more mobility into the Ahri. You had a Yumi lane down towards the bot side. Shikari pushed in by the Aurelia. It was just really difficult for them to navigate, and thus, C-Boy just got invaded on numerous times with X7 just driving the tempo forward.
When your Aurelia is winning 1v3s, when your solo laner is getting solo kills, when your jungler gets that far ahead that early, who cares if you've drafted for team fights when your lanes are all done that early? X7 dominate game one, but we've still got more of a series to come, so we're going to go to a quick break. And when we come back, the analyst desk will be there to answer all your questions.
Win lane, win game.